Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Good evening. Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, and hello to our friends where it's morning or it's afternoon. We truly are a global community, and we are thrilled to have you at USA Global TV and Radio. I just want to make a couple of quick announcements. Thank you for all of you who have been subscribing to our channels. We are now at 102,000 on our YouTube channel, which is USA Global TV and Radio, and 29,000, close to 30,000 on Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck on YouTube. So you really like us, and we really like you. Our show today is You as a Whole, Body, Mind, and Soul. And it's starring Mr. Justin Mirigliani, who's done an incredible job with this show. He continues to have more and more people following him. And I think it's a testament to who he is as a person. I know him personally, and he's got a huge heart. He really does care about people. He really does care about helping others. He had one episode where he was actually collecting money for people who are raising awareness and money for various charities. And it's just amazing how he continues to grow and blossom. He is a business owner. He's an entrepreneur. He helps people with soft skills. He also owns his own charity and has a huge event coming up in August. I know that I will be there, and I hope that you will actually take the time to buy some tickets tonight when we bring up the link, because it would mean so much to him. It would mean so much to me. He's also an author. Shh, don't say anything more about that later. And he's going to share his story about how a stranger has really made a huge impact on his life. Welcome, Justin Mirigliani.
Dr. Jacqueline, as always, thank you for the beautiful intro. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You are so welcome. I'm thrilled to hear this story. We want to encourage people to put comments. If you have questions, Justin is here. I'll be putting them up on the screen. And I'm going to turn the show over to you, my friend. Enjoy.
Thank you. Well, everybody, welcome back. This is another Monday. It's amazing how fast these weeks go by. They go by so fast, and life goes by so fast. So stop and smell the roses. I haven't been very quiet about, or very secretive about, what the last few weeks, especially the last 6 weeks, have been like. They've been pretty tough. A lot of things have happened that have been painful, that have been expensive, that have been anxiety provoking, all kinds of things that really had me on edge. And just when you think you have it so bad, and your whole life is falling apart, something happens and you gain some perspective. And that's what happened on Saturday night. And it was pure chance, really. Although I don't know if I believe in pure chance. I think sometimes these things are just God allowing something to happen. But I reached out to somebody on Facebook. I think we had a couple of mutual friends, and I saw her picture, and I was like, oh, I wonder who she is. So I friended her, and I do that from time to time. If I have mutual friends, and I friend a lot of people. I'm a connector. I like to connect with people. I like to grow my social network, both here and LinkedIn and on the TV station. And so I friended her, and I talked to her about my charity, and it just so happens that her child, her name is Jenny K. Dye, and Jenny was telling me, she answered me primarily because I was talking to her about CHOP, and maybe she could help with the charity, if she had connections to CHOP. I friend business owners, I friend entrepreneurs and people who are in high places, because you never know who's going to help you out. You never know who's going to, as we talked about with the charity, is going to reach out and help you. So Jenny was a possibility. So I reached out and I sent a message to Jenny, and then Jenny calls me up, and so we just started to talk, and I didn't think anything of it more than just a conversation with somebody I didn't know. It was a total stranger. I had never met. We lived fairly close to each other, but not too close. But both in South Jersey, and it was an amazing conversation. It was something that was a shared experience, and I'll start off with what Jenny has gone through. Jenny has gone through the loss of her son in the last couple of weeks. I think about 2.5 weeks now, maybe a little bit less than 2.5 weeks. He really from birth, his name was Christian Dye, and he went by Chris. And he had surgery at 4 days old, heart surgery, and he had surgery at 8 months old, and then he had surgery again at 14 years old. And he was 26 when he passed away a couple of weeks ago. And I just couldn't believe how calm and how relaxed Jenny was. Now, was she in pain? Yeah, I could tell. I mean, it was very easy to tell that she was in a mother's pain. I am not sure that I would have the strength to handle that kind of loss if it were my daughters, the same way that Jenny handled or is handling the loss of her son, Chris. And I think it's a testament to who she is. She told me a little bit about her past, and she worked with my cousin who's in heaven, and I'd like to think that he and Chris know each other now, and somehow connect with her. And my uncle, whose birthday was yesterday, he might have worked with Jenny, and he passed away in November. And I like to think again that he and Chris are talking together and up in heaven. But Jenny told me the story of what happened the night that he passed away, and it was really tough. I mean, it was hard to hear. He had a pulmonary embolism. I think she said more than one, and they went to his heart. So they went from his lungs to his heart, and he was bleeding out. And Jenny said that he knew that he was going to die. He knew that this was it, and he was going to die. And he said, made sure he told his mother that he loved her, and he said to his sister that he loved her, and he was making peace with the fact that he was dying. Which, again, at 26 years old, I don't know the strength that it would take. I don't know if I could do it at 50. I mean, I don't know if I'd be in a panic or what, but I wasn't there, but from what I can gather from the conversation, he was very calm and did what he had to do to leave his family on a positive note. So his mother, Jenny, got him to the hospital, and when he got to the hospital, he wasn't doing well at all. He had total organ shutdown, and she mentioned that he had a lot of gray matter in his brain, so his brain was really not functioning, and he wasn't going to make it. So he got through Friday night, but it was just, she said that she saw an orb when his soul left his body, and I think that's pretty special. I've never experienced that in my life, but I have experienced some supernatural miracles in my life, and almost everyone I've seen die has died smiling or reaching out, and it looks like they're trying to hold on to somebody, and somebody's coming for them. And I like to think it's God or Jesus or a loved one, or maybe all of them. Maybe there's a whole gang of people who, aunts and uncles and cousins and grandparents and people who have gone before us. Maybe they're all there and pat you on the back and giving you a big hug and saying welcome home. because I do think that is our home. I think that's where we wind up at the end. That's my belief. And not everybody believes that, but that's okay. You don't have to. I was talking to my therapist the other day, and we talked about how we think that every religion has some of it right and some of it wrong. I don't think any of us have it 100% right. I think that every religion believes they're 100% correct. And I don't think that. And unbelievably, Jenny just commented in. So let's see what Jenny's comment is. He was just an amazing person. It sounds like he was, Jenny. He could play the guitar. He was a great guitar player. He loved music. And Jenny said that after he passed away, she was listening to music, and she heard a lot of songs that he would have loved to hear. It was like his playlist, and it was she just you can't make that up. I mean, it's just him sharing that with her and trying to comfort her. So not only was he an amazing person, I wish I got to know him in life, but I feel like I know him a little bit through what she and I talked about. And it was a Friday night when he passed away. So Friday nights are hard for Jenny, and it's not easy. And you can imagine why. And then there were some strange circumstances that came up that were just completely I'm not going to get into them, but they were circumstances that would be extra painful for somebody going through this, where it would be extraordinarily weird for it to be a coincidence. And she had to endure that and go home and take that pain with her. And she told me that it's tough to be in the bathroom because he died in the bathroom, and he, for her to, like we all do every once in a while, if you're in pain or whatever, or if you just want to sit in the tub and relax, and that's something that's a pleasure in life, and for her that's tough. I mean, it's hard for her to sit in that bathtub, I'm sure, and you remember that's where she held him really for the last time, and that's got to be probably one of the hardest things to do. I know my aunt, when my uncle died, she had to sell the house because he died in the living room, and she just couldn't sit in there anymore and just look and just be around there. But what was extraordinary about this was the shared experience that Jenny and I had. We talked for 6 hours. I don't think I've ever had a 6-hour phone call with anyone, let alone somebody I never met before. That was a shared experience. And I don't know if I'll ever meet Jenny. I don't know if we'll be friends on Facebook, or we are friends on Facebook, but I don't know if we'll meet. I don't know if we'll be acquaintances, close friends. I have no idea what's going to happen in the future, but no matter what happens, that was a really neat thing. And it was cathartic, I hope, for her. I hope it made her heart a little bit lighter. And Jenny's got another comment. Let's see what Jenny's comment is. It started out in the bathroom and he passed in the hospital. Yeah. So when he when he was bleeding out, it started in the bathroom, and then Jenny got him to the hospital, and that's when he passed away. Technically Saturday, but Friday night was when he started the episode where he started bleeding out. And she said there's even blood stains on the floor, which have to be unbelievably difficult to be able to walk through that. But it was a 6-hour conversation, and again, it's how does that happen? I mean, how did it didn't seem like 6 hours. It started probably around 8 o'clock at night and ended whatever 6 hours later. Well, maybe it was a little later than that, but we got off the phone around 3 o'clock in the morning, and we talked about life, and we talked about death, and we talked about what we believe, and how it affects you. And she's got certain beliefs, I have certain beliefs, and a lot of them are similar, some of them are different, and that's okay. I mean, everybody's got their own way of looking at things, and she just put things in perspective. I looked at the loss of my home. I looked at the loss of, over the last few weeks, the loss of the house. We're gonna have to sell the house, and the car accidents that happened back to back, and my business being in trouble because of the tariffs, and the opportunity to work in China is now really very precarious. And these are all things, the end of a marriage is not easy. I mean, even though we knew it was coming, it's still the end of a relationship, and there, you have the memories, and even though you can't relive them, even if we stayed together, they wouldn't come back. Those memories, those are lived already. You still can't help but be nostalgic for those times, and it's tough. So Jenny, some people might look at me and say, well, wow, you took 6 hours to talk to somebody who needed to talk. Well, Jenny may have not noticed this or may not have even realized it, but she was also helping me. It was cathartic for me because I was listening to somebody, and we were sharing human experiences, things that happen to human beings that can be so painful. And one of the things that she talked about, and it's been a worry of mine, to be honest with you, for quite a while. Now that I am single, I didn't have to worry about this when I was married as much. But now the idea of what a man is more on the forefront of my brain than it was when I was a married man living at home. I think I knew what I was, I knew what my role was, and I knew how it worked. And now over the last several months, it's a little different. When you're in the dating world, it's like, what do women want? Do they want, everybody says they want strength, they want power, they want to feel safe. Well, I get the safe thing. I understand that. And I think that's good. But one of the things I think I mentioned to Jenny was that part of being strong is that you can be scared and strong at the same time. You can cry and walk through the fire at the same time. You don't, and she agreed. And she said, it is not a knock against men. Men need to understand that it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to feel pain. It's okay to fall down as long as you get up. And that's the key. Jenny, another comment, please. We will be meeting. I believe others are going through many shared experiences that they could use support and guidance. That's great. I would look forward to meeting you, Jenny. I was. How did again? It's these things aren't accidents. I don't think people bump into each other and talk for 6 hours and it was an accident. It just doesn't work that way. I don't think. Now again, I mean, whatever it was, it might have been just to get Jenny through and me through a tough time at the same time. I mean, that might have been what it is. Or Jenny's suggesting possibly we could help other people. That would be great. If we can do that, that'd be wonderful. But my worry has been, you hear all these stories of how men have to be stoic and men have to be strong, and in order to be strong, you have to be able to take everything. Well, I hope women who are watching the show take a page out of Jenny's book and understand that's a fairy tale. There is no knight in shining armor. There is no guy who could take everything. I don't care how strong you are. Everybody who knows me knows I'm a physical guy. I'm very strong physically, getting stronger all the time because I'm in the gym so much. Doesn't mean a thing though when it comes to stuff like death, or it comes to stuff like losing your home, or having to disappoint your children, or things like that. I mean, what is a bench press going to do for that, right? What is a squat going to do for that? How much I can curl? What does that matter? I mean, it doesn't mean anything. It's meaningless. Now, do I do it because I enjoy doing it and because it's part of my life? Yeah, Yeah, I do like it. And I want to be strong. And I want to take care of myself physically. But that's not the strength we're talking about here. The strength that we're talking about here is mental and emotional strength. And oh, that's great. Jenny and Jacqueline are now friends on Facebook. That's fantastic. I love that. I love that. See, that's what I mean. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, who would have thought? I mean, Jenny and Jacqueline had no idea that either one person existed a week ago, and now they're friends on Facebook. That's what I'm talking about. You know, Jenny worked with my cousin, who, like I said, who passed away a couple of years ago. My uncle, whose birthday was yesterday, and she worked with him too. And um, you know, what are the odds of something like that? I mean, these things aren't. The book God Winks, you know, that where God winks, and that's just him showing you that he's there. He's saying, I'm here. I know you may not feel it all the time, you know, and we all go through disappointments. And I think that, you know, sometimes those disappointments, I know for me, can bring me down. You know, everybody says you're such a positive person, and you're so strong, and you got a big heart. Well, you know, I'm gonna push the curtain back a little bit. That's the TV persona. That's the persona when I'm training. Um, that's the persona when I'm out with people, when I don't want to burn people with my problems. But I'll tell you straight out, I've taught classes when I first started with the divorce, and I would train for 2 hours. And for 2 hours, you would think everything's fine. I would be totally fine teaching the class and joking with the students. I mean, I'm the kind of instructor that I keep it flowing, I keep it fun, and I don't. I mean, to teach Excel, think about it. It's not the greatest moment of your life to learn Microsoft Excel, so you got to make it interesting. And one way to do that is to joke, and I tell personal stories and things like that. But at the 2 hour break, I go in the bathroom in the stall and cry for 15 minutes, you know, and just sob sometimes. And then I wipe my face, and I go back and teach again, and not look like nothing happened. Then at lunchtime, I eat a little bit, go in the bathroom, cry, come back, teach again. See, that's the strength. It's okay. It's okay to have the feelings, the pain, but you're not giving up. Like, I don't walk out of the building and say, I can't do this today. You know, I'm done. I'm out for the day. Now, depending on the loss. Now, what Jenny went through, losing a child, I will be honest with you, she's stronger than I am. She's mentally, and she's got some gifts that I simply don't have. She she's into Reiki. She's very grounded. She's extremely spiritual, and I think that helps her. I'm spiritual, but I think she's on another level. She's on a different level than I am. She's on a different level than most people are, which is great for her because it's helping her get through it. Plus, she counsels people through grief, and she counsels people through hard times and the things that they get stuck in. You know, all kinds of different scenarios where they're hurting, and she told me that part of that has been helpful for her because she knows what to do when you're feeling grief, but at the same time, she feels it. You know, Friday night, she told me are hard for her. Of course they are. How could they not be? I mean, that's the night that it happened, and I'm sure the time. You know, she looks at the clock on a Friday night. You know, she said she's got to be out of the house. That's not weakness. That's self-preservation. When I played hockey, and I played checking hockey where you would get hit, I didn't stay in the boards just to prove that I could take a hit. If I could make a play and avoid getting hit, I would make the play and get out of the way and not take the hit. Now, if I had to stand there and make the play and take the hit, yeah, then I took the hit. But I didn't say, let me make this play and just get driven into the boards, and for what? To prove what? What is that going to show? So what if I dislocate my shoulder? Or what if, in her case, mentally, what does it prove to sit on the couch and to just wallow in pain? She has the choice to do that. It's just like when I had my surgery. Again, not to that level. I mean, losing a child, there's nothing that you can say that will ever be able to replicate what that kind of pain is. It's impossible. There's nothing worse than that. There's literally nothing worse than that. And I don't care if they're 26 like Chris was, or they're 76. If they're your kid, they're always your kid. I have a 19-year-old, well, almost 19, and a 13-year-old, and those kids could set me on fire, and I would love them. There's nothing they can do that could stop me from loving them. I mean, they could do whatever they want and, turn their back on me or eat or hurt me in any way, and it's not going to change anything. I'm always going to love them. So that's a father's love, and I think a mother's love. I mean, I know this might be sexist, but I think a mother's love is stronger because the mother carried the child for 9 months, and I think that bond is a little bit different than. I mean, what do athletes say when they're on they are on camera, when they're on the bench and somebody puts camera in their face? They say, "Hi, Mom," right? And Bill Cosby used to tell a joke, who was the one that went out and taught you how to throw the football and run the football and do all the things that you do on the field? Your father probably did that, right? At the time, at least in the 80s. And he says, Dad goes through all that, and the first thing they say is, "Hi, Mom." Or if somebody's sick, what's the first thing they want? They want their mother, right? Where's my mom? The drummer from Def Leppard, why is his name escaping me now? But he was in a car accident, and he was thrown from the car, and the seatbelt took his arm off. It was a faulty seatbelt, and it took his arm off in a field. And one of the things he said was, "I want my mom." And here's this tough guitar player, a drummer rather, who is a rock star, somebody that people would think would be so tough and stoic and not be scared of anything, and yet the first thing he wanted was his mother. And he said, "I lost my arm and I'm a drummer," and he survived it, and he plays with his hands and his feet, which is incredible. But it's for a mother to lose a child is I think a father too, but a mother especially. I think it's really tough. And she's a single mom, and I can tell from the 6-hour conversation that they were extremely close. She mentioned that it was hard to hear because she said it was her last Christmas. She still had some, and like we all do. I mean, I still have some stuff that I have to put away that my wife and I, when we separated, didn't even put away, that's still out there. And I look at it and I say, wow, that was our last Christmas as a full family, as a four family unit. And now it's not, and that alone gives me pain. And yesterday, Jenny was telling me that she was putting away Christmas decorations. And one of the things she said on the phone Saturday morning, I guess it was, because we talked Friday night into Saturday morning, was that, it was Saturday night into Sunday morning. I'm sorry. One of the things she said Sunday morning was, when I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to have to put these Christmas decorations away. And she said, well, that was our last Christmas together. And those words kind of stuck with me. I was like, wow, that's tough. I mean, that's something that's really, it's powerful and sad. And I'm amazed that she was able to get through that. For me, it would be, there'd be tears coming, but she was strong. But even when she cries, so what? I mean, it's okay for everybody to be scared. I mean, we talked, I think we talked about Simon Sinek. I mean, remember, it was 6 hours, so it's hard to remember everything that we talked about, but we were talking about philosophers, and we were talking about, I think Simon Sinek's name came up, and he said, I've seen this video many times, and he says the people who get their stripes to get into the Rangers, they're not the ones with the big muscles, and they're not the ones with the tattoos that look like they're tough, big and strong and got the tattoos and, look like the prototypical tough guy. He said that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for the ones who, even though they're scared, go back and help and go back and do what needs to be done. He said sometimes they're skinny and they look weak and they're quivering and they're petrified, but they still do what needs to be done. And they say that's how you get your stripes. It's not what you project, it's how you act. You can project anything you want, but if you don't live it, then what's the point? It doesn't make any difference. And I got to say, over the last couple of weeks, up until probably last week into this week, I wasn't really living it. I was having trouble trying to sort out all the things that were happening. And I, they weren't just happening to me. They're happening to my kids and my family. And, that involves your extended family, your parents and your brothers and sisters and cousins. All people, your friends who worry about you and are concerned about you. You're affecting everybody. And that was on my mind, when I got to get out of this because I'm taking everybody down with me. And that's not a good feeling. So Jenny's conversation with me kind of reinforced the fact that it's okay that I slipped. And I had couple weeks where I just didn't feel like me. I didn't feel strong. I didn't feel like I had much value. I didn't feel like I was, 26 years building up a 6-figure business, and to possibly see it go away is it's difficult. At 50 years old, I wanted to be a millionaire by now. I wanted the business to grow, and due to circumstances beyond my control, it's on a thread, and that's not easy to accept. But then you talk to Jenny, and she tells you about her son who passed away, and then what do you say back? I might lose my business. So what? It's just money. Money is meaningless. Money doesn't go with you. That's the funny thing about people who are billionaires that I'll never get. If I were a billionaire, I would give away so much money, it would be incredible. If I had the money of Elon Musk or somebody like that, why keep it all? Why would you not give it away? Like, every friend I have would be retired. Every one of them. Every friend I have wouldn't have a mortgage. Every friend I have wouldn't have to pay to put their kid through college. Every friend I have, if they were in need of anything, I would just give it to them, because and that wouldn't even be that wonderful, because it would be from excess. It wouldn't even be from what I need. I mean, I try to give from what I don't even have sometimes. We talked about in one of the shows before about I had a shared experience with that homeless man in Cleveland, right outside of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, John. And I was moved so much by his story that, I mean, again, it feels like I'm bringing this up to pat myself on the back, but I'm not. I gave him $20, and he said, "This is great, because it's $10." And they give me, he was homeless, and $10 they give me a whole bunch of corned beef, and they give me a bunch of fries to put on top of it, and it's just $10. And I gave him 20. So I said, well, great, you got 2 meals then, right? Like, you got $20. And he turns around and he says to me, and I could not believe it. He said, how about you come with me and have lunch with me? It's my treat. He was going to take $10 that I didn't think about it. I gave him $20. That's all he had. It was $20 in his pocket. He was going to give half to me so I could eat with him. And I the whole day in the Hall of Fame just walked around and just I enjoyed it, but it was on my mind, and I'm like, I got to see this guy, and I like an idiot. I put my family in danger, really, and I look back and I don't like that part of it. But I drove around downtown Cleveland trying to find him. I went to all soup kitchens and all kinds of places, and I tried to hunt this guy down. I mean, I walked into a place, and I'm a street kid. I know that people can mess with you, but if you look like you own the place, if you have your shoulders up and you look like you got that angry look on your face and your fists are clenched, people are probably not going to attack you because they're like, why? What's the point? You're not going to be an easy target. So I know that those little tricks. Was I scared inside? Yeah, sure. I mean, I didn't know if I was going to get killed or not. But I walked in and I said, "Do you know this guy?" And I didn't even know his name. And then we got back to dinner, I remember, and I was crying at the table, and it took me 30 minutes to read the menu because I couldn't even see it. There were so many tears falling. And I got myself together, and I went to the hotel, and the hotel was in Canton, which is 2 hours away. And I was going to drive back the next day, another 2 hours, and go back. And my wife said, "You're out of your mind. You're taking it too far now." And I said, I can't do this. I called every delicatessen I could think of, find on the internet in Cleveland. And I asked him, "Do you know this guy? Do you know this guy?" And I kept falling short, and I wasn't finding him. I said, "Let me keep calling." And I found Al's Deli in Cleveland. And they said, "Yeah, his name's John." And I mean, the feeling was just so good. And I said, "Do me a favor, take my credit card number. I want you to buy John a meal I can't afford every day, but I can afford once a week. Give him $10 a meal once a week. If it's a drink too, just $12, whatever. And do it once a week." And I said, one more thing. He told me that next week's his birthday. I said, "I want you to pay somebody $50 to sit with him for his birthday. Just give them $50 out of just charge me $50. Give them the $50. Tell them to sit with him and pay for their meal, and just let him have a birthday party with one person." Because the thought of him sitting there alone on his birthday was driving me insane. I mean, it was just so hard to even think about. And I don't see this because I want to say what a great guy I am. I'm saying it because these are shared experiences. Like, I think I'm going to see John again someday. I mean, probably not on Earth, but there's a connection between myself and John from Cleveland, who I don't even know his last name. And that was a shared experience. That was an experience I got to, two hearts kind of came together. And I think that's what happened with Jenny and I. I don't know how she feels about it, but that's what it felt like to me, that two hearts and two souls were connecting and trying to get each other through something that was difficult. And I think that's what happened with John too. I think our hearts and souls connected, and that moved me to do the things that I did. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gone back through Cleveland, and I wouldn't have gone back and dialed up all those phone numbers. It's not just a male female thing. A lot of people think when you have a connection, it's a sexual connection, or it's a that kind of connection. It can be, but that's not always the truth. That sometimes it's two men that are heterosexual that there's some click there that that you got to be there for them. That you were put there to be there. I think that's it. I remember an episode of MASH. That's one of my favorite shows from my childhood. Jenny's a little younger than me, so I know she's watching. She might not have ever watched MASH. I have no idea, but it's one of my favorite shows. And one of the episodes had Radar, who was the young clerk, and he would answer the phones and stuff. And he met a wounded soldier who they operated on, and the kid was from Iowa. And the kid was seemingly getting better. And he and Radar sat down, and they talked about what it would be like to go home back to Iowa, because they both were from Iowa. And they put a puzzle together. And the wounded soldier said, "I'm tired." And would you mind if we knock off for tonight and we'll do it tomorrow? Well, overnight he passed away. And Radar said he was sitting there and he said he was just down. You could see that he was just fighting it, trying not to break down. And BJ, one of the doctors, walked up to him and he said, are you okay? He said, I know. And he said, we became friends. And BJ said, I know you did. And he said, and it was only 2 hours. And BJ said something that stuck with me for the rest of my life. He said, that's all friends need. I think that's true. It's not the amount of time, it's what transpires. They Radar and this soldier, hearts and souls connected. They were on that bed putting that puzzle together. And BJ, the doctor, his words were that, Radar says, well, it was only 2 hours. He was my friend. He said, well, that's all friends need. And, do I consider John a friend? Sure. I mean, I knew him for less than 20 minutes. Jenny's a friend. I've talked to her for 6 hours, never met her in person. But, we had a shared experience. And I hope that people continue to let that happen. I mean, we're getting into an age now where everything is texting. And oh, wow, we have 3 comments. Can we take them real quick before I know we're almost out of time? Let's see what they are. Jenny, it's okay not to be okay. We have to address our emotions. They are normal. You can't agree more. I mean, that's exactly what it is. If you don't address them, they're going to kill you either way. They're going to enter. My dad's favorite. He was a Vietnam veteran, Silver Star. Wow. My dad was in Vietnam too. He didn't get the Silver Star, but he was in Vietnam. Yeah. And Claire says, oh, Claire, how you doing, Claire? We'll catch this. Oh, so Claire's going to watch the replay. That's great. I appreciate that. I really do. So just to wrap things up on my end, I know that we're running out of time. We're getting into a world now where everything is text, everything is, AI, and isn't it wonderful that we have all this stuff? Well, yeah, some of it is wonderful, and some of it actually pays my bills, and some of it is my job. But let's not lose the human touch. Let's talk to each other. Let's not text each other all the time. Let's not send Teams messages to our colleague who's next door. Go to the cube. Knock on the office door. How you doing? You want to go to lunch? These are easy things to do. They're not hard to do. We don't do them because we've gotten reliant on technology taking over everything. Self-checkout and stuff like that. I know that there's some positives to that. I get it. But at the same time, let's not lose humanity. Let's not lose the human part of us. Because if we do, we don't have much left. So I want to thank Jenny for 2 things. One, sharing with me on Saturday night and being open and being honest and being compassionate and vulnerable and all the things that are human. And I also thank her for letting me do the show. I asked her yesterday if it was okay. I told her I would use a different name. I would use a different person and make up a different scenario. Can we share Jenny's Facebook page? Jenny, is that okay? And if you're still watching, is that all right? If we share your Facebook page? I just want to make sure that's okay with you before we do that. Dr. Jacqueline, if you don't hear, I just won't do it. But then Jenny said she will come on the show at some point. So we'll have Jenny on the show, and then she said, sure, that's fine. Okay, great. It's okay. So we can share her Facebook page. Okay. So we'll share her Facebook page now, if we could. And there she is, Jenny K. Dye. She works at an amazing company too. I mean, I can't get into all that right now, but we just don't have the time. But when she's on, she'll talk about it. She's going to come on the show. She's a Reiki master. She believes in energy and spirituality. She's really an amazing person, and I got to know her a little bit in 6 hours, and that's great. So, I'm sure that she's overwhelmed right now. So, I don't think everyone should friend her at the moment, but she's somebody that's good to know. Somebody who makes a difference in the world, and that's pretty good. That's pretty cool. And I hope she knows that we're pulling for her. All right. So to end the show, what we're going to do is run the clip of the hockey tournament. Now, remember, it is August 23rd, 2025. So this year. And we're going to have an amazing array of stars. Mark Recchi. We're going to have Brian Propp. We're going to have many other stars come. So we're going to run this little commercial about the last game that we did, and then we'll finish up with the particulars about the one on the 23rd. So if we could roll that commercial, that'd be great.
I just want to tell you how thankful I am that you came out tonight and helped us out on a very special evening. Crohn's and colitis are terrible diseases, and they affect a lot of people, not only in the Delaware Valley, but all over the world. And hopefully we can find a cure someday.
Nolan here with you at the Checkmates versus the Flyers alumni. We had a great time this afternoon. Game was close, and we're all here for Checkmates Charities, which is the real reason that everybody's here, not only the players, but all the fans that were here. It was a great day, and we're really happy to be here.
It was fun to be out here at Northeast Skate Zone because the Checos were a pretty good team, and so we had a lot of fun with the charity.
And it was good because they took it easy on us old guys. So we had a good time. So anytime you can do something for charity, and I know a couple guys on the other team, and just to be on the rink, we all go have fun.
Good times go. I'm either gone in an instant or here to the bitter, and I never know what I got.
I want to thank my family for all that they did to help me get through this, and there's a lot of planning that get done. It has to get done. I want to thank Nick's Roast Beef and Common Avenue for all they've done. Dr. Prieto for saving my life and finding the disease and treating me for so long. And the Flyers organization for all they do to help us raise money every year. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Baby, I'm ready to go. So August 23rd, 2025, we're going to have Mark Recchi there. We're going to have it, and the website is www.checkmatescharity.com. $70. I kept it as low as possible for you to come to the game and for you to have a 2-hour open bar. We will have a buffet. Just an amazing event. Here's the website. We're going to have a raffle. We're going to have look at all the stars that are going to be there. This is and we're going to support. There it is, Brian Propp, possibly Rod Brindamore, Kevin Deneen on the fence right now. It looks like Kevin Deneen might not be there, so we'll have to replace Kevin Deneen with somebody else. But Bernie Perrant, Joe Conklin is going to do a comedy skit during the show. Lauren Hart's coming. Rolf Benershka, I talked to him today. We had a 20-minute conversation today. Kicker in the NFL. He kicked with an ostomy for 8 years. Kerry Frazier, an incredible man. Just a wonderful human being, legendary NHL referee. Ed Bernstein lost his daughter to Crohn's disease. She passed away, and I call her my little sister, even though I never met her, because Ed and I, again, shared experience. We talked about it before. Now, we ask you to come out to the game. We have plenty of parking. The tickets are right there. You can buy them. Again, $70. Come on, open bar for $70. So that alone is worth it. And then you get the game. You get to meet the pros. You get to hang out with them. Full buffet. I mean, come on. What else do you want for $70, right? And there they are. There's those stars. Now, last thing before we end up, I just want to say, please subscribe to our channel, to our YouTube channels, USA Global TV and Radio. We can't help people if we can't reach people. It's the bottom line. We're not begging you for money. We're not, asking for donations or anything like that. We're asking for a simple thing. We're asking you just to go and do that. And also, don't forget to go to Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck on YouTube and subscribe to that channel as well. Again, we're not asking you for anything but 2 seconds of your time. That's it. Can you spare it? All right. And there's the site for it, USA Global TV and Radio. So you can subscribe. So do that. I want to thank everybody again. I want to thank Jenny for sharing her story, for being a part of the show. Claire for coming in there, and she's going to watch it later. So thank you, Claire. And thank all of you for being here. We reach about 2,000 people a week with this show, and it's just going to keep growing. So we appreciate it. Have a great rest of the week. We will see you next Monday on You as a Whole, Body, Mind, and Soul.
Ever dreamed of hosting your own TV show, sharing your story with a global audience? Now's your chance to shine. At USA Global TV and Radio, we make it easy for you to create, host, and broadcast your very own TV show. Whether you're a storyteller, entrepreneur, or industry expert, we help you bring your vision to life. With our exclusive interview, live streaming, and podcasting training, you'll gain the skills and confidence to captivate your audience. Our global platform ensures your voice is heard worldwide. Join our community of creators who are already making an impact, one show at a time. Step into the spotlight. Host your own TV show on USA Global TV and Radio. Book your discovery call today at usaglobaltv.com. Copyright 2025 USA Global TV and Radio. All rights reserved. Terms and conditions apply. To learn more, visit usaglobaltv.com.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Steve Klein Art at steveklein.art.
My name is Steve Klein, born Manchester, England, 1953. My quest in my lifetime is to create artwork from my soul and the deepness within my wildest dreams and fantasies. In 2012, my heart stopped when I was given too much anesthetic for a minor knee operation, and this near-death experience took me to another multidimensional world, an out-of-body experience, and I was given the gift of being blessed by an overwhelming, burning passion to become, for the very first time in my life, an artist with an eternal, passionate desire to bring my art, which I've named multidimensional, subliminal, freeform art, to the world, as only 3% recover from what I experienced, and now in my golden years want to release my cosmic, vital energy through my art to allow people to be a part of my cosmic dance.
To learn more, email roccogoodwine@gmail.com. For VIP pricing, mention USA Global TV and Radio. USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents our partner and sponsor, Mr. Philip Sykes and the British School of Excellence, building confidence, changing lives. And now, proudly presenting the Polished Professional.
On a transformative journey with the British School of Excellence's comprehensive suite of masterclasses, crafted to elevate your professional and personal life. 8 outstanding modules will elevate you to the next level. Module 1, Exploring Life's Purpose, delves into the depths of self-discovery, guiding you to chart your unique path to fulfillment and success. Module 2, Mastering Professional Presence and Confidence. This masterclass is a deep dive into the art of self-assurance and commanding presence, which is essential for standing out in today's competitive landscape. Module 3, Learn the secrets of visual impact, how to curate a personal style that amplifies your professional brand. Module 4, Mastering Professional Etiquette and Communication Excellence, navigating the nuances of corporate interaction with grace and tact. Module 5, Elegance in Eloquence. We impart powerful techniques to captivate and persuade any audience with your oratory skills. Module 6, Unlock the potential of your emotional intelligence, EQ, and harness the ability to connect, empathize, and lead with emotional savvy. Module 7, Mastering DISC, building a gateway to understanding behavioral styles, fostering better personal and professional relationships. Module 8, Mastery in Dining Etiquette, building your confidence to perfect the subtleties of dining with finesse, enhancing your social savviness at any table. Step into the Polished Professional program where poise, elegance, and excellence aren't just taught, they're instilled for life. Join us to redefine your potential and polish your professional edge.
To learn more, go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. The British School of Excellence are investors in people. Let us invest in you.
In a world full of noise, misunderstandings, and interruptions, master the art of listening with Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck is the listening mentor of USA Global TV and Radio and the Amazon #1 best-selling author of Mastering the Power of Elevated Listening. Elevate your listening. Elevate your life. Join a global learning experience in person or via Zoom. Reserve your spot today. usaglobaltv.com/book-your-session or drjacqueline.thinkific.com. Join Dr. Kerbeck's listening courses or hire her to unlock deeper connections and authentic conversations. Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honored to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dyes. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.